Hello, good morning, welcome. I am Astrid, I am Wattle and Wool, and welcome to my little space on the internet where I talk about what I've been knitting usually. So firstly, I'd like to pay my respects to the Indigenous people on the land on which I stand, the Whadjuk Noongar people, and pay my respects to their elders past, present and future, or emerging. And hi, welcome, hi. This is a brand new space. I've moved house and I'm actually really happy with it. I will put in like a little tour of my room, even though you can basically see it all already. I have decided to downsize and rent a room, which is more like a room and a wardrobe and a bathroom, because I can't fit all my space in just one room, all my things in just one room. And it is beautiful. And I'm actually really close to my mum, so I'm really happy to be here. This is hopefully going to be home for a little while as I try to save and not spend money. But I'm going to show you acquisitions today, which makes me a liar in the whole I'm not going to spend money, because then I did. So I finally got my room set up how I want. My extra spare stuff that I can't even fit is just behind the door, because that's always where it goes. And then my beautiful bookshelves with all of my yarn. And then there's even more spare yarn up there. I've got my to be read bookshelf there, which is now expanded to there and there and there. So I might need to start reading some books pretty soon, but I love the yarn. I have some little projects on my bed. I have some more plants, which are pretty beautiful actually. And then this is my wardrobe. So school clothes or like random clothes, usually more casual. And then over here I've got all my different, some of my different shawls. I don't have all of them. There's some more up there. And then I have my boxes of my sweaters. I need to find a way to utilize all of this space, because there's so much untouched space that I can knit more and store more, which obviously I need to. And then underwear, blah, blah, blah. My Fenty addiction to lip oil, because it turns out I love them. And can someone please appreciate how much time I spent putting all of this jewelry up? Because seriously, putting every single little hook through and like clicking them all in took ages. And then I have perfume at the back, and I need to start using all my perfume. So every day I'm trying to get a new scent and see if I like it. Okay, so what we're going to talk about today is a kind of finished object, which isn't actually finished. And then some works in progress, and then some other crafts, and then some acquisitions. We are under a flight path, so if the planes are annoying, sorry in advance, I'm not that technical, I can't edit them out. Okay, first thing I have kind of finished. This is the Yasmeen top. It is a test knit for Zanete Knits, and it is beautiful. So you've got this really lovely lace. It's so see-through, as you can tell. I blocked it really heavily. Like really aggressively, to try and make it stand out, because I knew that this lace needed a lot of blocking. The twisted rib or half twisted rib ruffle is gorgeous, but oh my god, it took forever. The bind off is a knotted K2 together bind off, which I really liked actually. I found this a really nice bind off. It looked really good. It fits the vibe. It's that kind of delicate, but a bit strong, very feminine. Yeah, I really enjoy that. And then there's a picot edge binding. I originally, when I talked to my mum, because I made this for my mum, this is in the Jacaranda colourway by Daffodil Road Yarns, I believe it is now, or fibres, Daffodil Road. Yeah, so when I bought this yarn, I knew it was going to be for my mum. I just loved it. Jacaranda is her favourite flower, and I was like, oh, Australian flower. And I was like, yep, I'm doing this. I have to do it for my mum. So I cast this on and knit, and then put it down for a little bit because I was like, oh, it's a twisted rib, it'll be fine, no issues, no worries, I'm good at that. Oh my God, I completely misunderestimated, and it took forever. So I did finish it by the testing call. However, I tried it on Mum, and she was saying originally that she wanted to have puff sleeves, and so it would be like a puffy sleeve situation. But then Mum went op shopping, which is like her favorite thing to do, one off, and she found this beautiful purple top that has puff sleeves already. So she was like, well, a vest would look really good with that, like a vesty kind of cardigan-y thing. So we tried it on. She looks amazing. I might put a picture in here to show you. And like, she looks lovely and all of that, but it's just too long. So now I need to take off basically 3 inches. So I've got from where the ruffle bit is to this little pink stitch marker, I've got to take off that much, which is annoying. And because this picot edge is done after the fact, I am not undoing everything. Like, there is no way I'm undoing everything just to make it work. So I'm going to have to do some creative cutting and also some cutting into the lace. So now this is stalled, and I'm probably going to make it harder for myself because I could just undo and then go back up to the point, but that feels like a lot more work than what I should be doing, even though I know I'm actually setting myself up for a lot more work anyway. So this is probably now going to sit still for a while I gather the courage to figure out where I am in the lace, and then knit, and then cut, and then knit it again, or sew it back. I'm also not entirely sure how to do that, so that's going to be an adventure. But technically it's a finished object. Kind of. It is blocked, it is beautiful, it is tried on, it fits. It's just not there yet. Anyway, so that is the Yasmeen top. It was a test knit. What I actually need to do is put it on Ravelry because I suck so much at putting things on Ravelry. So note to myself, Astrid, please, when you're watching back this video, girl, put it on Ravelry. Okay, I do have another project. I have no idea where it is. It is using this lace mohair silk in Eucalyptus Flowers from Woolen Works. This is like, God, this would be 4 years ago, I think. So this is like kind of OG Woolen Works. And you can tell because it says Fairy Bread on the skein, and then she's crossed it out to write Eucalyptus Flowers. So Fairy Bread was one of her first like pop off kind of colors. So this is going to be a dress, and I've knit a raglan top that's maybe a little bit tunic length, like it's a little bit past my butt. And it's got a couple of increases already, and I'm just kind of doing like, I want it to be fluffy and to go out. And then what I'm thinking is I'll probably use, I think I've got two more skeins of this. I will definitely use one to finish off the arms and the rest of the body, I think. And then I'm thinking of getting 2 more because this is knit in size ridiculously big. 9 or 10 millimeter needles, so it is very open, very airy fairy. And I'm thinking I will knit a little bit more of it and make it really open, and I really want it like a full-size maxi dress, long sleeves. And then I'm going to go back, and maybe with the ruffle increases like as it expands, I'm going to add in a few more like extras, kind of, yeah, like ruffles, like layers on a skirt. I have a vision in my head. I have absolutely no idea if it's going to work, but my vision wants to be used. So I am doing it and seeing what happens. So this is with the Woolen Works Eucalyptus Flowers, and part of the reason that I'm doing it is because I'm also making, which doesn't look like very much right now, and of course I'm halfway through, but a row. This is going to be a top and it goes from the back to about here, and this is called The One That I Want Crop by Lily Kate Makes. and I'm super excited by it. So this is a two yarns held together in both the colour Eucalyptus by, again, Woolen Works. This is one strand of the lace silk mohair and one strand of her fingering weight, like boucle kind of yarn. So these two, oh, can you see? There we go. These two together create this absolutely gorgeous fabric. And I really like it. So what I'm thinking is I will end up wearing like a nude slip underneath. Then I will have my mohair maxi dress over that with like ruffles. And then I will have this as like a bodicey, corsety kind of singlet. I've, again, a vision in my head and no idea if it's going to work at all. But I really like the idea and I'm loving this construction. It is so much fun. Lily Kate Makes is amazing. And yeah, I've just really enjoyed reading her pattern and figuring out how she, like how her brain works. Yeah, so it's been so much fun to work on this and knit on this and just let it grow. I'm at the point now though where I have to pay a lot of attention to numbers, and that is really frustrating. So I can't just like, because it's garter stitch, you'd think that you can just go brrr and make it work, but you can't, because now I have to like, it's short rows and shaping and stuff, and so that is kind of bothering me a little bit at the moment. More just because I feel like this should be a simpler knit. And this was my car knitting when I got up to like about here, and then I started short rows and I was like, oh. So I can't car knit in short rows, it just, the pick up put down doesn't work. So now I need to find new car knitting. But this is the one that I want crop, and yeah, I guess it's a bit of like a thought experiment. And I do still have, I definitely have one other boucle skein, potentially two, I'm not sure. And so I'm kind of thinking, well, what am I going to do when I've run out of it? And then I was thinking, if I've got more of the mohair silk left over, I might do something like a Tolster by Craybow, using the stripes but with different textures. I think that could be really cool. I don't know, I'm just kind of making it up, but that's my mind at the moment. A few other things I'm working on. I'm making a hat, a little beanie, and this is very specific. So I'm not sure what to call it. I kind of want to call it the Proenca hat, because when I was in Belgium, I think I might have said this story in here. I was in Belgium, and so I'd been living in Paris, and I struggled. Paris is interesting. Paris is, as they say, people are rude, people are stereotypical, people are not interested in you at all, at all. And they want to just get in, get their stuff, get done. They don't want to interact with other people. So the only way that you can make friends in Paris is with non-Parisians, I believe, because yeah, they're just not interested. And I think as well, a lot of people in Paris, there's a lot of people who moved to Paris to work in industry, whether it's fashion or engineering or whatever. And it's almost like, oh, well, you're a tourist, so you're not really accepted. I don't know. It's a weird vibe. Anyway, I kind of, like, I knew what Paris was like because I'd been there before, but I kind of thought it would be easier for me to make friends, and it wasn't. Oh my goodness, it was not easy to make friends in Paris. So I went to Brussels because I was exploring Europe, and I was in a nail salon, and there were these two, oh my God, so gorgeous, these two like beautiful women, and they were talking in French. But we were near like the Flemish kind of side, and so I was expecting to hear, and I was hearing a lot more Dutch than I was hearing, or Flemish, than I was hearing French, and I was like, what the heck? And so we started talking, and you know, I'm Australian, and we talked about Married at First Sight and like bonded over it, and it was just really fun. And they were like, do you want to come like walk around with us? And I was like, yeah. So we started walking around, and then they were like, we're gonna go have lunch. Do you want to come for lunch? And I was like, okay. And then they're like, we're going to go shopping. Do you want to come shopping? And I'm like, okay. And then they were like, we're going to have dinner at our house. Do you want to come? And I was like, okay. And I just ended up befriending these two beautiful women. And Ended up seeing them again a little bit later, and actually stayed with them and had a beautiful time. Did lose my passport, but I think that's on me, not them. Anyway, so these two beautiful girls, they are, they're Congolese descent, and the only reason that that's important is because they wore bonnets to protect their hair. And one of them wore this awesome strawberry hat. And I was just like, oh my God, that's so cool. And so it's been on my mind that I wanted to make a strawberry hat. And so I was thinking I'm going to make a strawberry beanie. It is tight. I've actually knit this twice already because I keep knitting it too big. So I really want the hat bit of it to be really tight. And what I'm going to do is I've got these like little like seed pearl beads, and I've got some embroidery thread or sewing thread that is the same color as this, and I'm literally going to sew on like the seeds of the strawberries. And then this is a provisional cast on along here. I'm going to pick this up, and then I'm going to use really small needles to make a really like ruffly edge. And it's going to look like one of the hats that they wore and like one of their bonnets, and but like I guess like a white girl's interpretation. I'm really excited. And so yeah, I don't know what to call it. It could just be strawberry hat, but I'm loving it. It is so much fun. It's in this, it's called Polar Chenille, and it's in this like literally like velvety chenille yarn. It does mean that my stitches look a little bit odd, especially the ribbing. The ribbing does not look great, does not look professional at all, which I really struggle with because I don't like that. And I don't even think blocking is going to help. I just think this is what it is. Hopefully the sewing of the seed pearls will add something. But it is so comfy and so cozy and so soft, and I just really like it, and it's been a really fun, not thinking kind of activity. So this is a current project that I've actually knit 3 times. Maybe that's why my stitches aren't looking so good, because I've knit it 3 times. This is my 3rd. But yeah, so that's my little going to be strawberry beanie based on beautiful friends that I made in Brussels. The next 2 are the main 2 that I've been working on. Between moving house, cleaning, I don't know, I really struggled for a little bit last week. I don't know where my head was at, but I just wasn't great. And so I kind of hibernated for a little bit because I was just like, I'm not feeling it. So I came back out of that, yay, and I've been knitting quite a lot. So the first one that I'm knitting, this is called the Frill Seeker. And oh my goodness, this ruffle is huge. So this is it's a cotton, it's a DK yarn from Bendigo Woolen Mills. And they are huge, they're like 200 gram balls. So I'm on my 3rd ball, and I've done basically almost an entire top. So pretty impressive. This has been an endeavor in how to count. So it's going to look, it's going to look like this. I actually really like the sleeve. I think it's really fun. Yeah, I'm quite happy with where it is. I actually think I could probably finish about now, to be honest. I think that's probably long enough for where I would want it. That's good. I haven't tried it on yet, so now I know. So there's 2 versions. Oh, actually, this is a really customizable piece. So this is by Mia, or Anxious Girl Knits, and I tested a jumper for her, and then she gifted me this pattern to say thank you for test knitting. And oh my goodness, I love it. Like as soon as I saw it, I knew what I wanted to knit, and I'm really enjoying it. So it starts with a cast on, and then you do the picot edge at the bottom of the ruff. The problem is the way that you cast on needs to be, it's like for my size it was like 684 stitches, but It was on like a Turkish cast on. So, you know, for the socks, when you do the two, like the toe flap, and it's like two sides, that's the kind of cast on I was doing for this. And so it was actually, it wasn't 684, it was like 1300, because I had to double the stitches and then like join them back up. And oh my God, that was not fun. That was ridiculous. I didn't count, I didn't read the pattern properly, because, you know, why would you read a pattern? So helpful, Astrid, so helpful. So I only cast on 684 and then started doing the ruffle and was like, this ruffle's really small, what the heck? And then read the pattern again and it was like, no, you need to do double that. So I ripped it all back, did it again, and then you're just knit in stockinette, but it's flat. Blah, blah, blah. You're knitting flat in stockinette, and you go all the way up to basically where the ruffle ends, and then you cast it off, which is really interesting. And I originally was like, I'm not going to cast it off, like, thanks for writing the pattern, but I'm going to do my own thing. And then I realized it creates that stability for the ruffle, and I was like, oh no, this is actually genius. So Mia, I'm sorry for doubting you. Like, you're amazing. And then I knit, and then I did this, I separated for sleeves. So this is currently the sleeveless. The original pattern, hopefully I will put a picture in here somewhere. The original pattern is basically you've got these like I-cord ties, and it's worn with this main piece at the back, and then you essentially like, it's like this, and you tie them together. But I am never going to wear it like that, ever. And so I just knew that that wasn't my style, and plus I really wanted puff sleeves. So this actually, the inspiration to knit this came because Mama said that she wanted puff sleeves in the cardigan. And so I was like, well, I'm going to have to put this one down, figure out how to do puff sleeves, because I've never done that before. And then I was like, well, what's a good pattern with puff sleeves? And then I was like, the Frill Seeker. So I figured I would do Frill Seeker, and then I would come back to doing the puff sleeves. And then it turns out Mum doesn't want puff sleeves, so I'm just learning a new skill for fun, but it's worth it. So yes, all of that to say, I'm doing this. There's been like 5 different points where I'm like, it's too big. Oh my God, it's huge. What am I doing? And then just trust the process. It is working. It's in a nice cotton. It's like really buttery. I do struggle knitting cotton because it's not flexible. Actually everything except for the crop top is really, really unflexible. So the chenille yarn is not flexible. This cotton yarn is not flexible. So I am struggling with that a little bit. I think that's also why, like, normally either I rotate projects. So I've got like, I'll do 4 rows of this. So they're back. And then I will pick up something else and I'll just knit that for a little bit, just to give my hands a break and like have that elasticity. Also because these are 4mm needles in cotton, which it is quite tight, whereas these ones are much bigger needles. So just for that break, I often alternate patterns as well and projects. Yeah, I tend to switch it up quite a bit, but I've been on a bit of a roll because I can see the finish line. I can see the end of this sleeve, and then I've got one more sleeve to go. So I think I've been kind of just like trying to push myself, but it hasn't been working because my hands hurt today. Anyway, so yeah, so there's been so many times where I'm like, oh my God, it is way too big. I'm not a fan. And then I just kind of keep going. And then I realized actually this is perfect. I wasn't able to count appropriately though. And so I do have 6 extra stitches on the back right side. And I don't know why. I have absolutely no idea why I have extra stitches. I thought I followed everything. I read back over the pattern and thought I followed everything, but I obviously didn't because I have 6 extra stitches. They're not really bothering me, and also because I don't want this to be just a tie closed. What I'm actually thinking is that just that extra little bit is probably good. I'm going to put snaps along the edge just so that I can neatly close it and it's not going to really bother me. And I'm also believing that this is going to block out quite a bit. So because at the moment it doesn't quite fit my back,
like pulling it closed for what I would want to wear comfortably. Like if I was to wear just this and not something underneath it, if I have to wear a bra, and I don't like showing my undergarments like that. So just little things like that. But I think it'll work out. I have faith. I have faith in Mia. Mia has great patterns. So that is the Frill Seeker top, and it's looking beautiful. Again, if I hold it up, it's looking so nice, and this pink cotton is just, it makes me so happy. The last thing I have been working on, if you remember, I made like a cardigan out of this fluffy yarn, this faux fur, and I love it. Oh my God, I love it. It is so cozy. It's winter at the moment in Australia, and winter in Perth, excuse me, winter in Perth means beautiful blue skies, and it means a thunderstorm every few days if we're lucky, if we're very lucky. And it means that blue skies come straight back after the thunderstorm. So it is not like Europe. It is not grey and dismal. It is beautiful, and I'm very lucky for that. But for a Perth climate, it can get a little bit cold. And so I decided I was going to knit a jacket. And this is kind of two reasons. Number one, I just love this feeling and I really want a jacket out of it. And number two, next year, my absolutely gorgeous mama turns 60. I know, she doesn't look it, right? She turns 60 and we're going to Tasmania to celebrate her birthday. And we're going in April, so it's starting to get cold. It's not cold, but it's starting to get cold. And this is kind of crossing over with my acquisitions. So I've been eyeing off Zakami Yarns for a while. Zakami Yarns are in England, Scotland maybe. And their colorways are just so interesting. And I've really wanted to buy some of their yarns for a while. They had an advent last year that I was eyeing off quite a bit. Didn't get it, and then had FOMO. Again, I haven't gotten it this year. I think I'm going to have FOMO again. So I knew I wanted to buy something of their colorways. And then I saw this. These were actually on special. They had like an end sale special of these. So this one, does it say what they are? Yes, this is Light, Love and Prosperity. And this one is Kairos. They are both 70% Highland wool, 30% superfine alpaca in chunky or bulky weight. They are 80 meters per 100 grams, so they are chunky. And oh my God, I'm so excited to knit with these. I love the combination. I love the colors. It's really weirdly lit here, so I hope you can tell. This one is like white, and it's got this little chocolate and like mustard and a little bit of blue. There's like speckles all through it. And then this one is just like natural colors in a way. Oh, I just love it. Natural colors with blue. And I'm so excited. And so I was thinking, I got like 9 and 10 or 8 and 10 or 10 and 12. I got an amount, enough to be able to make a jacket. And then I was like, well, I'm going to make a jacket with these. And can you imagine that chunky boucle style alpaca as a jacket? Like, it's hand dyed in Edinburgh. It is in Scotland. Like, can you imagine this as a jacket? Like, oh, it's going to be magic. And then I was like, well, crap, I've never made a jacket before. And I know what kind of jacket I want. Friday Knits actually has one very similar, and it's got this like big chunky zip that goes up the middle. And I've never been into zippered jackets ever, but I feel like for these ones, like a chunky blue zip and a nice, even like a soft pink one, like a blush pink, and then these would be amazing. So I was thinking like, all right, I'm going to make a jumper or a jacket. Don't know how to make a jacket. Why don't I try it out? And so then I thought about, actually, why don't I use the yarn I've already got? And so, because I bought heaps of this, and didn't actually finish it. So this is kind of the prototype, I guess, for what that jacket will be. So this, it actually crosses over a little bit, but I would probably still, I'm gonna make the neckline higher, I think, because it's high enough to be the back of my head, but because I've got an undercut, I do like it to be a little bit higher. So I'm thinking I want it almost like this high, like almost like on top of my ears kind of height. Because I don't like the cold. Well, no, I love the cold, but I love dressing for the cold, and I want this to be dressed for the cold. I want saddle style shoulders with raglan, and I'm thinking as well, because I've got these two different colors, I would love to have two different colors going on in the same jacket, but I don't know how to do that, so it will be a bit of trial and error, a lot of trial and error. But what I was even thinking is this will be the collar, and then this will be like along the back, like a saddle that goes down, and then this will kind of catch it up, I guess. But because it's going to be in the round, and I don't really want to be having floats, so that's kind of what I don't know. I feel a bit stuck on that. It's definitely still a work in progress. You can see my brain thinking. Anyway, this jacket. So I've split for the sleeves, as you can see. This is just a basic raglan, but with some shaping for the collar. And I've gotten it to about here, as you can tell. I am very, very, very happy with it. This is at the point where I'm going to separate for pockets. And I've decided to do a vertical pocket, which I've never done before. Why not? Why not keep doing things I've never done? And because I've never done a vertical pocket, I've been Googling quite a bit, and a lot of them kind of say like pick up after it. And I'm more than happy to pick up after the pocket. So first up, I wanted like silky kind of inside pockets. And I was like, well, do I get fabric and then sew the fabric in, which I don't want to do? Or do I want to knit like a pocket, which I might do? So then I was thinking, well, what yarn am I going to use to knit it with? Because I do want it to be really light and silky. And I've got like a Trubu, which is like a lyocell kind of bamboo yarn. And I really like that. And because this is faux fur, it kind of feels like it's going with the vibe. And so I'm going to find a white or a cream in that color, and then I'm going to knit the pockets in that. So that what I need to do then is I need to get the pockets, and I need to be able to pick up stitches along the edges of those pockets. The problem is this is faux fur, and you can't tell where a stitch is at all. Like, I could drop one, I'd have no idea. It's something that like you definitely have to kind of know by feel. Like, I would actually recommend this to more experienced knitters. I don't think beginners would be comfortable knitting this, because if you drop something, you have no idea where it's gone. And that is quite stressful. It does hold for a little bit. So I've had my needles slip out and I've lost like 2 or 3. It's easy to flick them back on, but if you're tinking back, it's actually quite hard. Yeah, I don't think this is a beginner friendly fabric, which as a design perspective, that worries me. I might just have to say like, this is hard if I release this, because I don't even know if I will. Anyway, so what I'm thinking is for vertical pocket, obviously you knit, and this is knits stockinette, and then for the pocket it's going to be knit flat. Well, at the moment it is knit flat anyway because it's going round and round. And so when you get to the end of the row and then you turn, I'm thinking of getting like a stitch marker or a stitch holder. You know, those giant safety pin stitch holders, and then basically wrapping the yarn as I turn it around that to like make a stitch. Even though I'm not actually making a stitch, I'm essentially picking up the edge of that stitch. And that's the only way I can think of to be able to hold those stitches so that I can then come back and add on the pocket at the end. So this is all very trial and error, very something that I've never done before, but I'm up to this point. So 2 things, like first up, it took me a while to figure out that technique, and lots of random Googling and YouTubing of how to make pockets. And I don't want horizontal pockets. I wanted vertical. So really trying to think about how to do that. The second complication was moving house, and everything was really dusty, and this is obviously white, so I didn't want to add dirt to this. The third complication was just I got really into knitting this for a bit, and so I put this down. So this is hopefully going to be done very soon. It is so chunky, it is so comfortable. It feels like it's beautiful, and so I'm really excited to make it and finish it. But it's just been a bit of thinking, and sometimes my brain just needs to not knit, needs to think, needs to process, needs to take some time. And so that's what I've been getting back into. I'm actually going to leave this on because it's so lovely. I'm about to go to my best friend's and babysit my goddaughter. I'm so excited. I love my goddaughter. And I think I'm going to bring the basic cardigan with me, like the shawly shoggy one, because now that I've put this on, I don't actually want to take it off. So I might just swap it for the one that's actually finished. The last thing that I've been doing, I went to like a craft thing, like a craft girls group, craft event, I don't know. So on Facebook, there is a group called Be Her Friend, or Friend Her, no, I think it's Be Her Friend, and they've got, from what I understand, they've got offshoots around in different places, but I'm on the Perth one because I live in Perth, so that would make sense. And one of the girls, she was like, hey, does anyone want to do like just a craft get together where we get together and we do craft? And I was like, yeah, that sounds amazing. And I said, I'll knit, but I'm happy to like show people how to knit or bring stuff so that other people can knit if they want. And no one else really knits, which is sad, but that's okay. And so we all kind of got together. It's run 2 times. Come on, baby. You gonna come sit with us? No? Okay. It's run 2 times, and I only made the second meeting. So it was really, really lovely. The first, so we meet at Dome Cafe, which is public and anyone can come join. And as long as you like buy the food, they let you just sit there. And so we sat and we chatted and we created. And one of the girls was doing this like diamond dot art. And so I was knitting on this and she was doing this awesome diamond dot art. And I was like, wow, that's so fascinating. Like, you know, where'd you get it from? And what do you do? And blah, blah, blah. We were just like chatting about it. And she got them from Kmart. And I was like, okay, I actually have one of those from Kmart. I should totally give it a go. And so she was like, yeah, do it. And I think if I hadn't seen her do it, I wouldn't have wanted to, but because I did watch her do it, I was like, yeah, that's really easy. So I picked it up and I made these little bookmarks and they're really cute. So I did this one first and it's just like a nice little moon. I love the moon. I love anything that's like lunar, celestial. And then I did this one, which is like, I don't know, like a hillside seascape maybe. I think more like mountains. And this one, which has got a beautiful little cactus. And they all come with these little tassels. So the kit was fully comprehensive. It had everything in it. It had the little dots. It had plenty spare. I was a bit worried at one point, but no, plenty spare. And what you do is these come and they've got like glad wrap or like a plastic kind of peel off thing. And then as you peel it off, the underside is sticky and then you just stick on the dots. And yeah, it was really fun. Mine do not look professional. They definitely look like an amateur has stuck dots on them, but I really like them. And so far they haven't worn off, which is even more impressive. And so these are my little bookmarks that I'm currently put in. So if you can see behind me, oh God. That one there is my to be read bookshelf. And normally I make a promise to myself that I'm not going to buy any more books if I haven't read what's in that bookshelf. So I need that shelf to be moving on empty before I'm able to buy books, except for the fact that this bookshelf has spread to there and there and there and down there. and there's books that have fallen down because Mac decided that he was going to try and climb the bookshelf at 3 a.m. this morning. And there's another 2 in the car that I'm reading as well. I'm on a book buying ban because I'm not allowed to buy any more books. And so making bookmarks have been really helpful to remind me that actually, girl, you need to read your books. So that's been really fun. Yeah. All right, I am off to babysit my goddaughter and have a really cute morning. I'm so excited. I'm going to go buy them croissants. And so I will go get them croissants, and I'm so excited. And then I will pick up Mama from the airport tonight and bring her back and show her my new house / my little cozy nook, my little room. And that's all I've got on for today. And then I'm hoping that I'm going to start doing the pockets on this and see if that works. What are your plans? What are you knitting on at the moment? I would love to know. It's really nice to be back and chatting to you. So I will see you next time. Thank you so much for spending some time with me, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.